This is Eastern Bartonshire Radio, and you're listening to the Crossface Podcast. Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Crossface Podcast. Today, instead of sort of discussing the recent events, we're sort of going to talk about our own favourites, starting with, we're all doing our top 5 wrestlers, so I suppose I'll just start it off quickly, will I?
Yeah, top 5 current wrestlers.
None
of this retired for a year like CM Punk, otherwise he'd be at the top of mine.
So I was going to say,
just to let you know,
Mario's being super
Nazi.
Well, I was going to say,
aye.
We'll go with that.
Well, that's the thing. If I can't have Benoit on my list, alright, then
Voldemort. We can't have.
Right, so we've got top 5 current wrestlers. They can't be retired, they can't be dead, they can't be on the shelf, they've got to be fighting the now. Am I right?
That's basically it, mate.
Are they not on the
Fire
shelf? I need to change my number 3 then. That's alright, I've got an idea in my head. That's fine.
Oh, it's all
I
started.
had Sami Zayn because he's out for 7 months now.
Well, technically he is still wrestling, okay? Like, injury, we can kind of forgive.
Yeah,
Aye.
injury.
Aye, okay.
Because there's a lot of people injured.
What about William Regal though? William Regal's
He's
got that.
not-
No, he's got that injury age.
Oh, you can't go after Regal. He's going to travel up here and just, brass knock your face.
I love Willie Regal.
Right,
Gentlemen,
well, let's start.
Lord Stephen Regal, shall we say?
Oh,
He's a man, such a man. He's a real man's man. That's a great way to start a podcast, isn't it?
That should be our jingle at the start.
So you listen to these podcasts. I listen to a podcast with William Regal on it. I know this isn't the top 5, right? It's on my mind, so I'm going to run with it. The William Regal that says that, he'd been through such hard times and that in his life with the drinking, the drugs and the rest of it, that whole gimmick doesn't remember a bit of it.
Yes.
Doesn't remember any of it. I was like, aye, thank God, man.
I remember it though.
Aye, wish I could get that with my sister.
We remember.
It's just testament to his character though, because he overcame that. He overcame all the problems that he had, and he's still a legend, eh?
True indeed.
Jamie's just smashed his knee off the underside of the table, and now he's tapping out.
Another great way to start a podcast. Somebody getting injured.
That's it. It's like the most uninjurable thing we're doing in the world. We're sitting around a table talking
with microphones in our face.
When we do the referees, X signal.
I'm
the Rey Mysterio in the podcast.
No Rey Mysterio again, come on. That's 2 in 2 weeks, guys, come on.
That's Jamie got 2 bum knees.
Right, let's move this back
to the show.
I'm back to the show, Ross. You want to start us off with your top 5, mate?
Right, well, my number 5 is Cesaro.
Oofed.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, pretty good. Like we kind of discussed last week, he's not much of a talker.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely not.
But that's the thing, is WWE giving him a platform to talk? Oh, the hell no.
So about talking about these top 5s then, are we talking about top 5 workers, or are we talking about top 5 all round, are we talking about top 5?
I would say all round.
I think
if it was just wrestling, Cesaro would probably be number 1.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna
it's your top 5.
I'm gonna side with Ross on this then, because I also have Cesaro in my top 5 at the same kind of spot. I mean, I've kind of got like a top 36 here, but I totally agree. Cesaro, even before, was it Claudio Castagnoli?
With what was his team? The King in Ring of Honor. What was it?
Oh, sugar.
King's.
Anyway,
Aye. We'll look that up.
I just think he's a class worker. I mean, even I've kind of footering through YouTube, looking at other matches for other federations, other companies. I just think in work he's solid. I mean, see them these uppercuts.
The Cesaro
uppercut. They are. I mean, I so wanted Kalisto in the Elimination Chamber to jump off the top of the cage and get uppercutted, clean out his mask. That is just what I wanted. But
just a pair of shoes where he used to be.
Just a pair of shoes and a luchador mask. Honestly, his in-ring ability is second to none. I'd challenge you to find a hell of a lot of guys better.
Especially someone as big as him.
Aye.
Who was it? Cesaro uppercut it in the Elimination Chamber. Somebody got it. Was it Kofi Kingston?
Did they not go through a stage in the Elimination Chamber?
Weren't they eliminated before? Because Ascension done a bit of a number on some teams before New Day came out. New Day were last.
Well, somebody got a Cesaro. I think it might have been Primetime Players or something like that, or somebody got a Cesaro uppercut as they were stuck on top of the New Day's cage. as they were holding them. Was it
Clisto was
Clisto?
stuck up there for ages.
Aye, it was him.
Basically,
then
Cesaro a couple of times you see Cesaro trying to lift him out.
he
Every
just
time he tries to
suplexes
lift
him.
him out, he's like, I can't get him out. Boom, uppercut.
Aye.
It's like, it's to see the stuff that he does like, in the tag matches on Raw though, where he like whips you into the turnbuckle, runs in with an uppercut, whips you into another turnbuckle, boom, there's another uppercut, and you're like, aye, that's pretty special. It's like the swing, we're at the swing. So, I mean,
Aye.
it's something
Something else to get him
something
over.
that only Cesaro does. I know we say that he's no great on the mic, but I think he is. I just think it's another one of these ones where they struggled to find a gimmick that fitted him and suited him, and they had him with Jack Swagger, and that wasn't the gimmick for me because he's no
He's non-American.
Aye. He's,
Swiss Superman, but he's an adopted American.
yeah,
That's
that was the whole thing.
Well, it
that
worked
they
for
hated.
Superman, didn't it?
Uh,
Kryptonian, different race.
mm,
He's American.
aye.
Blue-eyed boy.
I don't like him though because he read
I
the
know.
he used to read the Sun. Hey,
Yeah.
bang on him. Not Cesaro. Good choice. Good choice. I
Thank
like
you.
it. What about you, Jamie? About
Thank you.
Cesaro? Well,
I was going to put him in my top 5, but unfortunately he made number 6.
Oh.
But
Oh.
Controversial.
I've got, unfortunately, my top 5's different. But as I
Eva
said,
Marie.
Aye.
damn it, stop wasting number 2.
Number 2? Jesus.
She's up
Alicia
there.
Fox.
Tamina Snuka, number 3.
I'm just going to leave to now. I find actually another top 5 that I can do because you're just ruining this.
Top 5 divas, the same thing.
Spike Dudley.
That guy that Brock Lesnar beat with one leg.
How's
Is that going?
Oh,
the
that was brutal.
wrong one-legged wrestler. The wrong one-legged wrestler. How bad have you got to get in your scouting process that you hire the wrong wrestler with one leg? How does one do that?
They make a complete, you know what of it.
What about, I know this isn't the top 5s again, but what about the one-legged
God's
fella in
sake.
TNA then nowadays?
Chris Melendez.
Actually-
pretty decent.
He was actually pretty good when I saw him
For a
at
one-legged man,
TNA.
He's
he
in,
can fairly
he
fly.
trained with the
The
Dudley's
boys? Aye.
training
I
school.
went to their school. Yeah.
He's better than Zach Gown ever was.
Aye.
Aye. Although that gown was no bad at the old one-legged moonsault, wasn't it?
And Vince,
Aye.
pretty decent.
I don't like. I think they've maybe went a wee bit far. I know they're trying to get Eric Young to be this total nutcase on TNA, but the whole abusing the guy because he's got one leg thing is maybe a wee bit far. I don't know. But they're turning. I like Eric Young. I think he's a really strong worker. I think he's brilliant on the mic, and I think that nutcase
It suits him.
gimmick really suits him. Aye, the big beard and the. You know, I don't know. I like the whole him being married to ODB stuff as well. I thought the stuff they done in the ring as a mid card
Him as a
draw.
one half of the
good, man.
the Knockouts tag champs.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
I don't mean that, but I mean like just the chemistry that
Aye.
the two of them did, and the backstage skits and all the rest of it, where like she would save the day if he was in a singles match, ODB would save him, and it was good, man. But they've always, I suppose, when they were in the Team Canada, sorry, he wasn't in that case, but I liked him. I always liked Team Canada and TNA. Was it Scott D'Amore?
Aye.
I liked all the boys in that. Bobby Roode especially. He's
Bobby Roode's
Evolved.
top class now.
Aye.
But anyway, top 5s.
top 5.
Right.
Aye,
Thank
so
you, next
I
one,
was
yeah.
saying about Cesaro. I've liked his work. I've saw him about 3 or 4 times, and like the Bray Head stuff, and every time I've saw him, he's just been brilliant. So that's why I was going to put him in my top 5, but I found somebody better.
Oh,
Who's your
Eva
somebody
Marie.
better?
Take telling you, she's number 2.
Alright, okay, sorry, I'll let you get round to it.
Joey Mercury.
Hey, don't knock a guy.
Oh, they'll be Chapman and Dolan now.
J&J. What was that you said?
Hey Jamie, top 5. Go. Let's
I thought we were going round the room, so it was like Mario next.
Oh, that's right. Well, because
Sick.
I jumped in with the
Aye.
Cesaro as well, so.
God damn you.
Sorry,
My
man.
top 5 is Kevin Owens right now.
5.
Also known as Kevin Steen on Indies. He's a beast.
Yes.
He's like just on NXT right now. We were saying he's just a wrecking ball.
Yep.
He's just going through everybody, and
Yep.
like you said, he's got that sympathetic side to him. He's acting this way
Yep.
to provide for his family. That gives him a little bit more of a human side, but he's just incredible. Especially as much as I despise Cena, and Cena will be my top 5 worst.
He makes it
Those matches have been phenomenal.
Aye.
Like in the middle of the card, no, end of the card,
Yeah.
because that just killed the crowd. I felt both times.
I like him because he's not built like.
He's not a
Your
typical
typical
wrestler.
He's not built. He's built like how Vince wants.
Vince wants.
Like. I actually have him on my top 5 written next to Cesaro. So he's probably going to find his way into my list somewhere. But obviously you've counted him, so I'm going to try and leave it out so that I'm not agreeing with everybody on everything. So I get to
Fuzz is
top
just
5.
pure. Like, oh, he's in my list as well. I know nothing about wrestling. I need to pass myself off to these guys.
Funnily enough, that was the first thing I was going to say at the start of the first podcast there. I was going to say, what are we talking about today, guys?
Wait a minute, this is a wrestling podcast?
Aye.
I thought this was the Flower Show.
Is it no?
That's tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow?
Aye.
I've got my days mixed up again. But no, Kevin
guys.
Owens, see, because listening to him on, I think it was Jericho's podcast again,
Yeah.
he was talking about when he'd to first go on the mic and he'd first to record a vignette, and the only costume he had with him was like a singlet and that, and he was like, this isn't me. He's like, I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. I mean, I don't look ridiculous in spandex, but I don't want to be wearing spandex.
It was actually Enzo or something like that.
Aye,
Just
it's
says,
just
wear what you want.
Rip the sleeves off your Guns N' Roses t-shirt. And that's what he done, and the guy that was recording it, he's like, no, turn your t-shirt outside in, obviously, because it's
Like,
brand
attire
works,
is a pure make or break. Like, look at John Moxley,
Aye.
Dean Ambrose. He was going about in a pair of wee pants.
Aye.
It doesn't look right on him
Aye.
because his body
Not
type,
now, aye.
his body type is again not the same as a typical
Aye.
wrestler. But put a vest and jeans on him,
Well, what
it
for
looks
Billy?
cracking.
What for Billy Kidman?
Like, there you
So I
go.
mean, well,
Aye.
look what he done. Look at Billy Kidman. Billy Kidman was in the flock. He had the cut off jeans and the vest.
This oversized t-shirt.
Yep. And then a couple of years later, they gave him the bulk up juice, and they started wearing.
Is this Fuzz's junkie top 5 now?
Oh, do you know what I mean? Look, 'cause all of a sudden he like appeared back after an injury with short hair and tight like short
When him and
pants.
Paul London were teaming.
And he was. He did, to me, he didn't have the look anymore, like, just because the change in the attire. It was like he looked Moxley, Gene Ambrose, and the rest of them looked good in their Shield get up.
Aye.
And it's funny that Roman Reigns still wears the Shield get up, but he's got a wee pattern that's the same as Rollins's.
Aye.
It's like Rollins says RR backwards, and well, aye, basically they've got the same.
I know.
They've got the same pattern on their shirts. Rollins is yellow and Reigns is blue. I mean, but
It's trying. I think that's just trying to go. Oh, this guy was in that group,
Aye.
the group that you all loved.
then Dean Ambrose went to the same shop as like Harper. Oh, Eric Rowan. What was
Harper.
which was it?
Harper.
Harper. He went to
The
same
dirty
shop as
t-shirt.
like Harper, got a dirty vest, a pair of jeans.
I bet they just. Go
Oh, we've dressed the same
between,
again.
between like shows like
One
alright,
is
you're
only-
wrestling. Alright, I need to dirty this vest.
Oh, one is only to change.
Aye.
The two of them turn up for the banquet breakfast, man, and he's like, I told you.
I was
you.
white vest and blue jeans today. Alright, come on.
I text you. Come on.
That's why.
I sent you a selfie. Come on.
That's why Harper changed the colour of his boiler suit as well, because Duke of Dumpster Drosy had phoned and says, nah, I'm wearing that today. He was blue and
That's
all
my
that.
gimmick.
Sorry, man. Aye.
I wear overalls as well, but they're green because I'm a safety person. Well, a first aider.
Do you get to wear a green overall?
Aye, and a white hat like a
Helmet?
aye.
Anyway, top fives.
Aye,
Kevin,
Fuzz, what's your number 5, mate?
Oh, my number 5 was either Cesaro or Kevin Owens, but number 5, I'm going to just hit the ground running. I'm going to go away from WWE and put in. It was this for me. It was a kind of toss up between Joe Coffey and BT Gunn. Now I go to an awful lot more UK shows or ICW shows than I do WWE shows and that now, but
Seen as WWE's twice a year for us.
aye, and ICW's every other month. But I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to put the two of them in.
Oh, controversy!
I will
Oh,
fight the
I
two.
said one
I will
or
fight
a tag team.
I will
Okay,
fight the two, it's
tag
fine.
team you can kind of play with.
What about
Right?
Joe Gunn? BT Coffee.
Oh,
I'll try the two. Well,
Joe Gunn.
aye, that's a quality name. Right, I'm going. Right, I'll go with Joe Coffey. I'll put BT
Okay.
Gunn in next.
Ah,
I chose him just because all round I think he's different class.
He
Size
is.
wise, I mean, he's not the tallest as you saw against Drew Galloway.
Well,
but
that's the thing.
he's
Drew's a
jacked.
giant.
Aye, that's.
But see, just he's in ring work.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Since we saw him, he's
He's
evolved
well, when we
more.
first saw him, he was tagging with
He's brilliant,
Mark.
aye.
I mean, see that match with was it
I want
Jack
tea.
Gallagher?
Aye.
That match
The Iron Man.
Aye.
Square Go that
Aye.
I broke my ankle the day before.
Yep. See, watching that match,
Sorry
she
about
just
that.
Did you enjoy your front row tickets, by the way, by the podcast as well? Aye.
It was alright.
Aye, where was the... Thanks for that, eh?
Let me give you money for it. God's
Aye,
sake,
money.
I brought you floors. Did you
No,
not get
I
them?
was getting discharged that day.
Sorry, man.
Where was the discharge for? Anyway, I'd go with Joe Coffey.
Plus,
Just in the last 2 years, I just think he's come on. He's get bigger. He's get stronger. He's get the look. He's got the look down to a T. He doesn't get a lot of time on the mic.
He
but
doesn't need it.
when he does.
Oh, no, you've not been to Spaceballs.
No, I've not.
Well, see
he's-
the last... I want to say two or... Well,
it's
not the last one, but the two before.
Yeah.
Joe Coffey came out as commentary
Aye, that's what I was
and
about to say.
then started
Yeah.
wrestling, I think, either both times or one time. But, like you say, the sound ring work's just phenomenal.
As I says, that
He can
match-
go toe to toe
Yep.
with Drew, who's just a beast right now.
The match with Jack Gallagher was different class as well, but that wee guy who's also on my list of potentials is the two of them just knocked lumps at each other. They put on a technical clinic, a technical master class. They played with submission moves. They used strike moves. They did everything that we wanted to see, and it really disappoints me because I don't think that he gets the credit that he deserves off some of the ICW crowd.
They just want... Sometimes I feel they want blood and guts.
Aye,
and
sometimes I feel as if that the match goes a bit flat, like for the crowd side, because I mean I've liked wrestling since I was any age, and sometimes you can appreciate a good wrestler, and to me Joe Coffey is
That's it.
a great wrestler. I remember listening to him on the new ICW podcast, and I know it's all kayfabed a wee bit. I mean, it's like everybody's still in character, but just listening to him and just listening to him chatting, it just shows you that how much he really wants it. And I don't know what's holding him back, or if there's anything holding him back. But I think there's big things in store for the guy.
I think there is as well.
I think he's.
Well, he got
give him-
Wrestler of the Year last
aye.
year.
You give him the chance and the opportunity, and I think he'll run with it.
If you
Because
I don't know if it's just because I'm part of a bigger comic circle as well, but see the likes of the body paint and the gimmicks that he
Aye.
goes through, I like that. I like that, the whole Iron Man thing, and do you know, sometimes I go on for ICW think I'm having a heart attack because I've pounded my chest that hard.
I just don't do it 10 times
Oh,
like
you're
the elbow
singing.
drop.
Aye.
he's a wrestler, a mighty wrestler.
Oh, that's
I've
it.
lost my voice at so many ICW events just singing.
But, sorry, we were saying about the whole blood and guts. Have you
Aye.
seen the Spaceballs Mark Coffey against Trent Seven?
No, I haven't saw it yet.
Oh,
was it good?
Brutal.
I've-
And see the ending of that match?
Uh-huh.
It's not a typical end.
End.
It is... Have you seen it?
No, I've been watching it. I've been like catching like
Alright.
bits of it on the.
It is
On the
amazing.
network. On the
It's-
network.
That match stood out. I'd went for a break just going, oh, this match will go on like 10 seconds. It won't be 10 seconds, right?
Could you not call that a urine break?
A urine break.
Right.
Okay, I went for a urine break.
Thanks.
Just... Right there.
Or
1, 2, 3. Oh, for God's sake. It was one of the ones I couldn't hold in. But
Well,
the end was
I'm against the system.
completely different.
I'm against the system. My top 5 wrestlers just now across the whole stream of the wrestling world, I'm going with Joe Coffey.
Plus as well, because you did have Cesaro in it, both of them did the swing
And uppercut.
and uppercut, and there is lost how many times that he has tried to break the ring as he's
Aye.
running towards
Aye.
him at the turnbuckle.
Oh,
But that's why
God.
the thing that makes him that
the
wee bit
ring
better-
moves
the
when
thing-
he hits it.
Well,
Those
before-
splashes are
well,
going to crumble
See
the
when it
ring.
was the 14-foot ring, when we were in the garage or the ABC or whatever, like, which the in-joke between me, Jamie and a couple of our mates is like, we would be like 2 feet away from the ring at the start of the match, and then Joe Coffey would start bouncing off the ropes and all that, and by the time it was finished, the ring was either a foot closer to us or a foot further away, depending on which side he was running into. He's got a wee bit of heft behind him, and I like that. So I mean, so his uppercuts
Aye.
they're coming for his boots. So I mean, and
Plus as well with your tiny Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, you could actually touch
Aye,
the
I
ring.
know, I
It's
know.
that close.
I like it. That's why I like it. He pushes the ring closer so I can touch it. Anyway, Jamie, you got a 5 for us, mate?
Well, did have Cesaro, or it was actually going to be Joe Coffey as my number 5, but thanks for that one, Fuzz. But because I've got so much in the bank here, I'm going to say Daniel Bryan.
Good choice.
Just because he's
Daniel Bryan, who's injured and possibly never going to wrestle again.
It did say injured.
But his is a terminal injury that might not come back for.
Alright, I'll go with
I'll go with it.
Well, just to say, because he's like one of the underdogs, he's like a small guy, he's like not your typical Vince wrestler, I thought. And like I said, it's been mostly the crowd, as Mario's been saying, that's pulled him in to being like this top guy.
Yeah,
they're giving him a chance.
Yeah, that's why when you listen to any interviews with Triple H, he's talking about how it's the smart crowd now. Do you know, in the crowd, up to an extent, they're the ones that are making the decisions, and we do create champions now, because with guys like Daniel Bryan, they know the flavour of the month, because we see what we. I mean, I remember seeing the American Dragon fighting on the wrestling channel on cable, like what 10 years ago, even probably longer than that. Probably much longer, probably 15 years ago, and you see him fighting guys in Ring of Honor and the rest, and you think that guy's going to be something really good. But then at the time, the WWE, all the guys were like 250 to 300 pounds, built like brick houses.
That's fine. See, when Punk started getting a bit into WWE, you saw him putting on the beef. Like it was what 240, 250, and it's like that doesn't that. It works with some people. It didn't work with Punk.
Well, when he won the ECW belt, he was much bigger and more jacked than he'd ever been before.
But see, when he came back in 2011, kind of ripped, and it looked so much better. And that's the thing. Not every wrestler needs to be £270.
Straight out of the mould. No.
Plus, I liked it as well when, like, Bryan, he actually got fired, did he not, from the WWE? With the Nexus.
Josh Matthews, he had
the old tie.
Aye, because he wiped him out.
And apparently, I remember when.
Was it Josh Matthews?
Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts,
because I remember as well.
Same guy.
With the Punk interview on Colt Cabana when he said somebody clocked him. An absolute peach when he was fighting it, and it was Bryan that done it. He's like, somebody wiped me out.
I went back after that and I was like,
watched it and he's like,
dirty.
He actually did.
How much did you love when they done the kind of wee runny Daniel Bryan and Punk matches on Raw and that?
Like, see those pay-per-views, like they involved Kane in the triangle and stuff with AJ. Like, Punk never, even then, Cena was headlining against like Johnny
Laurinaitis.
Like what the hell?
Davy Jones fit in this game.
Like that and Big Show, like
the Big Show in the cage.
Steven, like seriously, like in what world does somebody go, that's a big match? It was a big match 10 years ago when Cena was in WrestleMania with Edge and Big Show.
Look at Triple H and Sting at WrestleMania. That was a big match 10 years ago. When TNA was pretty much still in its infancy, but Sting he did weight of the world on his shoulders. Or even before, when Triple H and DX were kind of at the forefront, and Sting was like still flagship in WCW. That's how much I wanted to see then.
Taker Sting back 99 would have been amazing.
Take a Sting when it was 10-0. That'd been a good match. 21, not so much. Do you know what I mean? Matches that you wanted to see when you were a kid. But not much when you get to an adult.
Like,
you think you're just
another thing.
Whenever you see Hogan, I mean, it's only a matter of time before they put. Was it last year they were trying to get Hogan into another match, but he couldn't get medically cleared because he's got bionic hips? Why? I don't want to see another leg drop for a saggy chested old man.
See, for WrestleMania 30,
for you, Fuzz.
That's it.
We're staying on topic with Jamie's choice. Like, in whose mind is it reasonable to have Randy Orton against Batista as the main event? Okay, Batista's got a bit more fame now, being in
Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's the reason why he was there, was to so that he could promote that as much as Blutista or Bootista. Or
wasn't Vince quoted as saying like it's going to be the biggest WrestleMania main event ever?
Aye. And then fans just went like this. Nope, we're changing.
Well, that's it.
Card subject to change.
That's it.
Right. For those not able to watch us, Therese just threw up the NAK sign, so aye.
Moving on with the top 5, I'm on number 4 now, isn't I?
Yes, you are.
My number 4, maybe more of a surprising one, I don't know if you guys would have it, from NXT, I have Bayley.
Bailey.
I think she's actually. I love
She
it.
has
Bailey.
gotten
Yeah.
a lot better.
I like,
Throw it
it's sort
to
of
Chris
an,
Kumar there.
Kumar's favourite wrestler.
it's like an original gimmick, and I think she really suits it because she's got like a really adorable face, and just the way she sort of runs about hugging everyone, it just really works.
Down
But
to
she's
it.
a-
Is it the
family show.
inflatable wavy things?
I
Like,
know.
oh my god, I love
Wacky
this.
inflatable wheeling arm tubing man. Is that what you call it?
Aye, it's Family Guy side.
Wacky wheeling
They,
inflatable tube man.
they still say that in like the
Yeah.
announcers thing. It's
5
pretty
times
cool.
fast.
And she's a great wrestler as well. She has great matches with like Charlotte and Emma and all that. And I just think she could be a great diva one day when she gets to like the main roster.
She will get there. Same with Charlotte. Like, they could put Bailey on there the now, and it would just be typical diva matches. Where right now Bailey and others in the NXT women's division is just like, I would say. See, I'd say that on the other show. If Joe hadn't came out at the end of the main event at Takeover, the Divas match technically beat it, but that just had edged out.
Another thing she's got going for her is she's different.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
She's
She's
not your
not. She's
typical-
not. Aye, she's not
She's a
another
happy,
straight out
good,
of the
feel
mold.
lucky.
She's not another straight of the mold wrestler.
Wait till she turns heel.
I know. I'm dreading that.
She'll take hair bands off her children.
Aye.
Ric Flair eye pokes. Ban. He
Snake
bans
gets
off.
Get some face paint and let her commit to the Warrior music, and let's all go nuts. That's what I'm talking about.
We can only dream.
Like, it's the thing. A lot of women in the NXT division right now, one in particular, a glorified stripper, needs a lot of work. Where Bailey could probably just be shoehorned on Raw or SmackDown right now and
Well, let's face it, she's
should
not,
gel right
she's
away.
not any better or any worse than what's on the
Exactly.
main shows now. I find it hard to argue with it. She's decent enough. She doesn't offend me. She doesn't offend my eyes. She's good at what she does. So why? It's there. Like Mario.
Right, my 4.
Like
Right.
My number 4. No, don't worry, it's not that sign. My number 4 is Drew Galloway.
Drew Galloway. Oh.
Nice choice.
Good choice.
This is the thing. It was between Drew and Joe Coffey. Both are incredible wrestlers, mighty wrestlers, in fact. But I think, see right now what Drew's doing with all these indie titles, he's just snapping them all up.
Yeah.
And what he's, especially for what he's doing for ICW, defending it in Australia, defending it in America, defending it in Denmark. Like, who else in the world is actually doing that? AJ Styles was defending the IWGP in Ring of Honor, wasn't he? Recently. So, like, who else is actually doing that? And who else is getting this much fame and notability?
That's it, bringing everything up to the map, because, what is it, he's got something like 6 titles
6
in it?
right now, I think.
Plus, he's actually made the ICW the world title
Yes,
because he's
that's
defended it
my
in
main
like 5
point.
different countries to make it an actual world title,
I
which
think
is
it's 5 different countries and 3 continents.
Or something like something.
Some kind of Australian champion, is really.
Outback,
Outback.
Danish,
Danish.
Dragon Gate and
Yeah.
Evolve.
I think the.
Is the Source. Was he the Source
I'm not sure,
heavyweight
mate.
champion? I'm pretty sure he is, because he's got a belt.
He's got a lot of titles.
To be fair,
He's
I would have him on my list as well, but it's getting to the stage now that I'm kind of almost being force-fed. Drew Galloway.
That
He's.
it's the only thing
everywhere.
against him right now.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love watching him in ICW, and he gets some.
He's getting a
peculiar-
split crowd right now.
Aye.
Yeah, which I quite enjoy.
Aye, same. We are
FDNA,
firmly.
FDNA.
We
Oh,
are
I've
firmly
said that a
on
few times.
Opposing sides, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing him on TNA. I'm seeing him everywhere. Like, I don't know whether it's just too much Drew Galloway, and that's why he's not on my list. But wrestling wise, I think he's brilliant. His ability to in ring for a guy his size, as we've touched on before, he's massive. He's
a hell of a talker.
Oh,
He never got a chance in
no, not at
WWE.
all.
He came back at Shug's house party and just killed it.
Aye. I mean, all credit to him for doing what he done when he was in 3-man band. I mean, I think he only ended up in that because he had a broken arm, didn't he?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So
No,
kinda-
well,
No,
he
he
was
was
actually
like,
in it.
supposed
he was
to
in it,
start it
aye.
and he
Started
broke
it,
it.
and then he broke
his arm,
and
and
then
then
that's
just
what
having to go
pulled
with
him back.
it. But do you know, credit where credit's due. He lasted a lot longer than some people have lasted when they've been in bum gimmicks. So I mean, so credit where credit's due, and his in-ring ability's pretty decent.
That's
as well,
it,
do you know what I
'cause-
mean, he's good at what he does. I mean, if he wasn't a wrestler, I mean, I don't think he could be much else, because he is the epitome of what a wrestler is, and he's got that. It's good as well that although he's got like the American style wrestling, he's still got the kind of British feel about what he does
Aye.
in ring as well. Do you know what I mean? But he can talk the talk, he can walk the walk, and I can't really argue with having Drew McIntyre in your top. Drew Galloway in your top 5.
Because with that as well, I can remember his first match back in ICW. It was against Darkside. It's like where we normally stand. There's a good chance we'll get hot with chairs, ladders. Find Sabu's scissors, and
sorry, they're in your boot, mate.
They're in your boot, big man. And basically, Darkside got chucked out into the crowd, and like you can sometimes tell because with the security boys are kind of like holding you back a bit, and before you knew it, Drew had bounced off the ropes and done like a swanton, like over like the ring, and just like wiped out everybody. I think he just missed kicking Fuzz in the head, which I was gutted about.
He did spit on me though, so.
He has spat on you many times. I don't think he likes you. Maybe because he's no in your top 5.
That's it. Must have used preempted spittage.
That'll teach him.
That'll teach me, yeah. Right, so
number 4 was?
Number 4, I'm in a proper pressure here. I'm looking at my list and pretty much my top 5's been named in your top 2. So
I've actually, because I've got so many, I've kind of like jumped and
pretty
changed.
Much the reason why I wrote.
It's like I can't put Owens in now.
No, I was just in the assumption. All right, I'm sticking to my guns. 5 honourable, done.
Yeah.
Not like used to. Oh,
that's because
they've got them,
used
you
to
know.
have basically mentioned all your guys already anyway.
Apart from Eva Marie. Number 4.
So, what am I at number 4? It's Jackie Polo. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no! I was about to throw a chair at your face.
Polo promotion.
Jamie, you're leaving right now.
Number 4, I'm going to stick with the kind of UK wrestling scene. I'm going to go with Mikey Whiplash.
Oh, you dirty heel!
Because none of my stuff's in an order for 5 to 1. Everybody that I've got in my top 5 is my top 5 wrestlers. Some of them I find it quite hard to like differentiate between. But Mikey Whiplash, the intensity, the look. I mean, there's only so many people that can pull off wearing a pair of sussies and a skirt and a wrestling match. What for Saturn?
I will say that it does look good in fishnets, better than some women.
Let's face it, I'm sitting in my fishnets and skirt combo the now, and I don't think I look as good as Whippy. What a talent! I don't know if it's maybe never ever wanted to go and try America, but I certainly think he would fit.
I think, with everything that he's doing, like all the different incarnations, he came out in a nun outfit, then you had this kind of serious Whippy, and then the Legion one, which he's just absolutely
that was a surprise. Everybody.
Surprise for everybody.
Fear and Loathing.
I know. No, I was going to say at the Barras.
Aye, it was at the Barras.
Surprise for everybody with me.
Aye.
I called it
2 minutes before.
Whenever they brought in the body bag, I called it. And then I marked like nobody's business.
I was a wee bit back and all I could see was red light, and I'm like, who is it? Then the lights went on, I went, Whiplash!
I mean, the first time we seen him, Jamie, was at fighting Jester for the belt?
No, he was fighting Wolfgang. It was champion versus champion, and when he done his finishing move on the turnbuckle, he wiped himself out.
Took himself clean at the guy.
He concussed himself.
But
he's still won them.
First time I seen him, I thought this guy's something else. And he's not the youngest in the roster, but he's certainly one of the fittest. I mean, he must knock his pan in constantly, but he's constantly betters himself in the ring. Like, every match you see him do something different.
Like Baramania, Lewis Garvin, like that was a absolutely technical match. It was.
Well, that's it. Depending on who he's fighting, you could put on the match.
After certain matches, it didn't really get the crowd in.
Yeah.
But for the people that wanted to see pure wrestling,
that's what we
that satisfied my
urges
for the day.
That's what we talked about before with Joe Coffey. Even though the crowds aren't always buying the matches because it's not always what they want to see. I mean, some of the ICW faithful just get melted, and then that's when they just want to see people getting leathered. But I appreciate it for what it is. The guy's a wrestler, and to steal one out of Joe Coffey's book, he's a mighty wrestler.
I would say he's possibly mightier.
Mightier?
I would like to see that would be Coffey.
There's a match for you.
Would be a match.
Yep. Guys, if you're listening, we want to see Mikey Whiplash versus Joe Coffey.
Get it booked.
Mr. Dallas, if you're listening, that's what we want to see.
It might be booked somewhere else that we've just no noticed.
Aye, well, possibly.
Can always send out a tweet to him. Whippy, you ever face Coffee? In the morning. They might have had another dirty joke for that.
I'm glad they get rid of the What was the fella's name that was with him?
Jam O'Malley.
Jam O'Malley.
I don't think, for as much as it didn't cause me any offence or anything, I just think Whippy's better
On his own.
with the distraction. No,
I
he's,
thought that-
no on his own, but he's better with the distraction when he's in ring. I mean, the
Didn't he have a couple of women with him as well?
Aye.
One time.
but
But-
without the Sumerian Death Squad, he's just kind of they kind of leave him to do his
One
own
of them
thing.
get injured.
Aye, but I mean they leave him to do his own thing.
Aye.
So it's aye.
Also, I don't think I've ever seen anybody almost killing a woman as much as Whippy has with Kaylee Ray.
He just
What
Like
about-
those matches, power bombing her into
Aye.
the crowd.
What about
What
when
the
he
hell?
nearly killed himself?
I'd actually missed. I'd tickets for that event, and
I don't want
missed
to talk
it.
about that one.
Aye,
And-
so it's going to make Jamie turn white and run out to the toilet, I think. I'm not spewing. It's something in my eye. It's something in my eye.
I need a single fish.
Aye, chalk whiting like that on his face. But no, that was something else. And for credit to him for coming back for such a serious injury. What was it? I think he,
It
For him,
was
did it
close
never-
to.
for him that never saw it, he was fighting Grado and he took a dive over the top ropes into the crowd and got impaled on the security railing. And I think it went 5 or 6
6
inches
inches
inside his
and-
leg
Aye.
and his
If-
groin.
If it
Like-
went apparently 1 more inch or
Aye.
2 more inches,
That
he would have
punctures
bled
him,
out.
basically
bled to death.
bled to death because he would hit a major artery.
And let's face it, he came back super quick and just as good, if not better. So
I would
all credit
say
where
a hell of a
credit's
lot better right now.
Well,
Like,
due. He's something else.
Also, to be fair, some of the Grado matches, I think that's why he left
Aye.
ICW
he said
for a while
that- sure he said
because
that was
of
he
the
was
Grado
sick of
matches.
fighting Grado all the time.
But he nearly killed himself. Remember the one where they put Skittles on the ground?
Aye.
He done like a mad power bomb, and he kind of slipped as he was doing it, and
Aye.
near enough wiped himself out.
There you go, guys. That's my number 4 pick, Mikey friggin' Whiplash.
Well, I'm going to go number 4 then because of Mikey Whitlash. We could bring it nicely into. I've got a tag team, and it is the Sumerian Death Squad.
Oh,
nice.
Good choice.
Just because it was actually going to be Tommy End,
Right.
just because he can kick a man's head off.
Aye.
But then I remembered how much a beast Dante is as well.
Do you remember the first time we saw the Sumerian Death Squad? Was it the tag team?
That was the
gauntlet
same
match?
one.
There was
as-
95 tag teams.
It was the Coffees, but the Fight Club.
Aye, Fight Club.
Was it Team CK as well? Christopher and Kennedy?
No,
No,
no.
it was actually sorry. That was the first time I saw NAK as well because they came in.
Aye, they beat up.
They beat up somebody.
Was
They
it
beat
Team
up
CK?
TK. Aye,
that's right.
and they came in as a match, and it was some of the moves that
The double team moves were phenomenal.
Like it was, like
the
I'd
suplex
seen,
spear.
suplex spear was
Ah.
just
like the.
mental.
It was against Joe Hendry and I want to say Kenny Williams at the garage.
Oh, the
Right,
guys.
His last match there, and it was just like a German suplex into like another suplex into
Yep.
something else, and the crowd were just going like,
Kenny's
"Oh,
Kenny's
oh, oh!" Just it was
UDCT in disguise.
what?
DCT
Oh, oh, oh!
That's
I will say that I do like him, just not Jackie.
Right, so the Sumerian Death Squad, good
Aye.
pick, man.
Plus,
the double
some of
team
the
moves we've seen
stuff
them do is
as
mental,
well.
man.
plus they've been announced for the Fringe.
Number 1 contenders against
Number 1
NAK.
contenders is then
Aye.
NAK, which that'll be pretty much brutal because MD was at the Fear and Loathing when Whippy came back with them.
Strike guys, I don't think there's many folk better than Tommy End.
No,
As you say, the guy could kick a man's head off.
that's the one that I wanted to see that I was gutted I missed was Tommy End BT Gun
Aye.
because
The best striker against the
the
best,
best
chopper.
chopper.
I was gutted. I was,
a bit dodgy.
It
I
does
was
sound a bit
gutted
dodgy.
at PBW.
Bro.
We were going chop,
Just
chop,
us.
chop, and Stevie
Just-
was like, "I'm just glad it's not me this time." I
Aye.
never chopped anybody. I was like,
Oh, it's because he was playing face, though, wasn't it?
"Aye."
But now that the two of them are heels, they carry just us over to the heel mode as well. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who
Aye,
knows?
so
The
the
Sumerian Death Squad.
Sumerian Death Squad's my number 4
Perfect,
choice.
man.
Just because.
The thing is, as well, it's getting to the stage now that they're an attraction for us because we don't see them all the time. They're not here constantly. So when they are here, they blow your socks off basically
That's
because
it.
they're so good.
I
Plus-
earn your money in that one match.
Yeah.
Like
That's it.
Yeah.
their
Plus-
work rate is phenomenal, especially Tommy End.
Tommy End.
Just-
That's what I was going to say. Plus, I think that's my nephew's. If he was here, he'd have him as number 1 because we saw him at Source, and he's just one of the nicest guys. He basically just sat and like spoke for like half an hour, 50 minutes or that to my nephew, just
That's
constantly. And when I
That's
tweeted
what you
him,
want to see. No, they'd just been a.
when
woo-woo.
I tweeted him back, he remembered my nephew's name. So that's
That's
Aye,
pretty
sure.
cool.
Right, Ross, number 3.
By the way, we're 40 minutes into this and we're only on
Ah,
our
well,
number 3s.
The thing is, I've got a couple that will probably be. So we'll probably
Right,
just.
I need to leave in 15 minutes as well. So.
We're not doing that well. But to move on quickly, my number 3's the NXT Women's Champion, Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
I didn't really
choice.
like her at first, but ever since like the December takeover, she's been getting bigger and better.
Is that
And
the boss?
she's just, every time I see her now, she's just so much better than she was before.
She's certainly like a sponge. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
She just gets better every week. She just seems to absorb the whatever it is she's being taught backstage or in the training facilities. But aye, you're right. As Mario and Jamie were both saying at the last takeover as well. Do you know
That
the
match
women's
just
matches
blew
were-
away.
with Becky Lynch was
Yeah.
mental.
Aye, good choice. I mean, I find that hard to kind of fault the choice. Well, it's a kind of a man-run sport for lack of any better to say. So the fact that you've got women in your top 5 is
And two of them in
Aye.
developmental.
Yeah, it's testament to their abilities. Do you know what I mean?
There's
we
nobody in
think-
the main roster on my list, don't worry.
Oh.
Hey, Mario.
Oh.
Maybe no Paige, maybe Paige, I don't know.
Right, number 3. Ultimate heel right now, Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Just a snivelly wee snake, just looking for any method to have a win. Like saying before on air, every match so far with the championship, he's always had a kind of advantage. Like RKO's banned,
J&J or
J&J, he's got Kane there as well. There's like,
There's
I'll
always been
trust the
something,
referee, I'll get this match DQ'd, I'll escape with the belt.
So the peculiar thing about it is his in-ring stuff's brilliant as well.
Aye.
I mean, even before, obviously I've seen bits of him before he was in WWE and before he was in NXT, and his in-ring work's good. It was really good. I don't know who I would say he's like, but he's just. I've not put it this way. I've never seen him in a bad match. I've never seen him personally putting on a bad match. Wrestling wise, voice wise, he's got the look as well. He's like not CM Punk.
Aye.
Plus as well with the whole when they were fighting
Wyatt's.
the Wyatts was Evolution
Aye.
when they were some of the spots that he took before
It was no
eventually.
Like,
Like,
he's no fear to put his
I'm
body
surprised
outside.
he didn't break a bloody ankle. Like, I filmed Black Ice and broke my ankle. He done a move, like a somersault over the top rope, and I rewound it when he lands. He lands on his feet, and I'm like, how the hell didn't he break something there?
the way I see him kind of like the impact, it
That's-
looks like
That's why
he-
I'm astonished watching Neville as well. Sometimes, I mean, he does that for that the 450 splash. The
Red Arrow.
You see him do
His
the Red
knees are
Arrow.
banging.
Aye, but did you see? Was it Wade Barrett he was fighting where Barrett moved through the road, so he done the Red Arrow and just landed on his feet, and you're like, oh, jeez,
Oh,
how does a
Oh.
man do? I mean, but even when you watch him though, like he runs to the top ropes and like does 950 spins and lands on his feet, and you're like, how can you? I mean, was it watching back some highlights? Say Adrian Neville, and he's doing these moves standing, like for a standing position, doing a standing moonsault, or doing a standing 450. That's basically why he's next on my list. That's quite a good,
Oh.
a good segue into Adrian Neville in my top 5.
well, you might as well just skip me because he was number 3.
Hey, but
Damn you!
Jamie and I's top 3 then.
Who's all joined at the hip, honestly?
Adrian Neville.
Nah, good choice. I've
Or,
liked his move to the main
Pact
roster.
his
It's been
friends.
good.
It was a bit peculiar in the sense like he was on Raw one week. I think he wanted to win his first match, and then next week he was fighting Seth Rollins.
Aye.
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 Second week it was.
But he looked brilliant. He did look good.
But
He's another guy that I remember watching in possibly Ring of Honor,
Ring of Honor.
possibly CCW. I can't remember.
Because I
I
remember
remember watching him as Pac.
because did you not send me like a video or something like that?
Possibly,
He just
mate.
50
one of
moves or
Aye,
one of
something.
his best
aye,
moves,
his
and
best
you're just
moves.
basically just
Just
sitting
watching
there.
him doing salts.
Aye, he just basically does assault into assault.
Yep. Yeah, and he's not. I know I keep edging on this, but size-wise, he's not a typical lucha size. He's not the size to be running about. He's even bigger than what Chavo was when Chavo come back after Eddie was
Aye.
getting beefy. You know, Chavo kind of got bigger as well, and he's still
Are we back on to your top 5
top
junkies?
5 junkies. No, we'll get there. But no, looking at him, he's not the tallest, but he's a lot bigger some of the guys you see flying, and to me that's even better, because you look at guys like Puma and some of the even Callisto and the rest of them. I know Sin Cara, the new Sin Cara is bigger, but these guys can move, and they can move fast, and they can flip, and they can jump, but they're not that big. Adrian Neville's, he's really, I mean, he's not quite Cena big, but he's jacked. He's bigger than a lot of the smaller guys, and he can still pull off these.
Some of the moves that he can pull off.
Aye.
I say, it's just crazy how you can watch it and go, how is he physically possible?
I mean, I'm thinking that the WWE are holding back a lot of these moveset.
Aye.
Because they're too big and they're too fast and they're too. I don't think some of the people. See, when he was fighting Cena for Cena's belt, I don't think like Cena could keep up with him. And I think that would have made him look bad. So I think possibly before they've been like, right,
maybe they're holding off on stuff for a bigger.
Maybe take your A game,
match.
Neville, but try and keep it mappy. Try not to do too many big moves. That's how I was saying. I would love to have seen him in the Money in the Bank match when he was fighting with Kingston. That they started trying to one up each other, because it's a perfect time for it. You've got a barrel load of chairs, you've got a barrel load of tables, a barrel load of ladders. You just start pulling everything out from under the ring and start doing high spots. And to me, that would have made the match more interesting than Sheamus pulling somebody's hair like a.
It was an eye poke
Like,
type thing.
"Get off my ladder!"
I want this belt. But anyway, Jamie and I's number 3.
Well, I've changed mine to John Cena now. Just
I can't see you.
Oh,
You stick with Neville?
I'm sticking with Neville.
I think the world is looking bright for Adrian Neville. I think he's only going to get better if they allow him to keep the same kind of moveset.
Aye.
If they start calming him down, I mean, because Daniel Bryan's no there because he wanted to be a high flyer, or because they made him high fly, and I was reading somewhere that the injuries he sustained could have been down to the lack of kind of meat and things that he had in his diet, like, because he was 100% vegan.
Aye. Plus as well,
He would have been back sooner if his body was in a better.
Did they know kind of like ban him doing the flying headbutt off the
Aye.
thing? Because we all know how that works.
What that does to you.
Damn you, Voldemort.
so Ross, your number 2.
Number 2, that's easy. That's Mr. Finn Balor. We've been talking about him. To me, he's just been a star since the first day he walked into NXT.
Well, I'm going to give you my number 2 as well, which
Is
was
that
Finn Balor.
Anybody else?
Unfortunately, that's my number 2 as well.
Alright, well, you shoot the stuff now.
Are you going to tell us your Finn Balor's your number 1? Is that?
Aye.
Hey, well, as I said to you before, my top 5 isn't in any particular order. They're just the top 5 guys that I've got. So unanimously, we've decided that in our top 5 wrestlers currently, that Finn Balor's there.
Easily.
And without a doubt, I mean, I've got him written down next to Hideo Itami as well. Because
It's another talent.
For me, pound for pound, the two of them are up there with the best that NXT's ever had, and look forward to seeing both of them on the
And
main
they're
roster.
well-established names to go,
But that's
to bring credibility
that's
to
what I
some
like.
of the stuff.
I like how NXT is bringing in guys like Rhino and Spanky and even Samoa Joe now, because these guys aren't afraid to work in NXT because they know NXT is where it's happening. I mean, Joe says that he's been everywhere else, and NXT is the place to be.
Same with Rhino, isn't it?
It's good because, I mean, guys like Finn Balor coming up against guys like Rhino and things, and you think, man, these are matches
These are
that
dream matches.
you never thought you would see. I refuse to believe that
AJ.
that Prince Devitt can put on a bad match.
No. Plus,
I don't think it's possible because, I mean, I don't know if you've all watched NXT, but you had the first part of the documentary, and it was the Irish lassie.
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, and she's getting really emotional talking about Finn Balor and how if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't be a wrestler, she wouldn't be this, and it wouldn't be that, and she broke down crying in that, and she was like, I have to thank him so much for all this, and then it showed you a bit with him, and he's like, do you know, I never really done anything. She had the talent. I never done anything, and you think to yourself, do you know what? How nice a guy's that.
He's like the nicest guy.
Talent wise, he's
just,
and he's got a different mind of wrestling. Like from what we've seen, ICW shows, he's done it in other shows when he was in the UK before jumping over.
He seems to be a guy he's got a moveset for every match.
exactly.
Because we've seen him, we've seen his hardcore style in ICW, we've seen his technical style and high flying style in Japan, and now we're seeing everything together in the WWE. And
It's just like a buffet, just pick what you want.
tell you what, Balor versus Owens, that's going to be
Oh,
off the hook.
oh,
That is gonna be off
hands
the hook.
down, Balor win.
Nah, I think so.
Aye.
I think
Yeah.
so.
The
I
way
think-
it's been piped up with
Aye, I think
Ignite
so.
right now.
Aye, wait.
I think so. Because there's nothing
Returning.
else for him to win in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? He's at the, he's the
I
top
would have
of the
liked to
food
have seen him in Hideo win the
Aye.
tags.
Yep. Although I think
Oh.
if they do it this way, if they make Balor champion, then we could have the two of them fighting again.
Oh, they will.
And
Easy.
for me, we've
That's
seen many matches with
so-
the two of them in the past, but it's definitely something I want
Hands
to see.
down, like didn't they wrestle the week before WrestleMania?
Aye, they did. They did. It's just I think talent wise, I think the two of them could steal the show every time. Every time. I think the two of them are the kind of talents as well where you could put them in the same match with the same finish every week, and every week the match would be totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's testament to the guy's character and his ability, and that's more or less why he's in my top 5 anyway. Anyway, Ross, it was your pick first, so
unfortunately.
what's the chat? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm the one that's big on the indies, like you guys are. I'm just starting to watch all that stuff, so I've only seen like his NXT stuff, but
Yeah.
even just seeing that stuff, he looks like a top quality star, you
He
know.
looks like a superstar, doesn't he?
And I love that it's only on the specials he gets the face paint as well. It makes it more
Yeah.
special. And,
Aye.
you know, it's
We've-
just amazing.
Because we've saw many different characters as
Aye.
they're coming out.
Venom and Punisher and
I liked his Doomsday.
the Doomsday was good.
Like the
The
Pain
Freddy, it
is
was
just-
Freddy Krueger.
aye,
That was
the glove, he's bleeding jester.
brilliant.
Well, we'll just go
Well-
into my number 2. Like
Well,
that's my
just-
number 1.
Just
Aye.
before we start, I've just realised I've made a boo-boo. That was my number 1.
Oh,
But
come
it's
on.
alright, but I can like switch it up and put this guy
Yeah.
as my number 1 if nobody else has put him in. But
Alright, cool. Alright, my number 2. You had him number 3, Whippy.
I like you at Bash.
Like, I can't really say anything else. Just different class of wrestler.
Yep.
Uh,
Without a doubt, it just brings everything to the table, doesn't he? It's,
that's why he was
I
on
would
my list as well.
I'd love to have seen him possibly in WWF, like just for a run, just to say that he'd done it.
Regal as a manager,
Yeah,
that'd be perfect. But the thing is, don't have Regal do the talking. Whippy can do the talking,
Aye.
and Whippy can be alright, woohoo, if he wants to be.
Yeah.
Plus, some of the matches he can be evil.
Aye.
Oh, aye.
Some of the stuff that he can do. As
Oh.
you said, nearly killing Kayla Ray in studio, was it no, in Edinburgh?
Studio both times, I think.
He
'cause
kind of like threw her, just
powerbombed her
just missed hitting off the DJ booth or something like that.
I
Like,
think so.
by about 2 inches or something like that.
So we're all in agreement then that
Whippy deserves to be there.
Aye.
Ross, you need to get yourself on some Mikey Whiplash
I
matches.
definitely will. Need
Eh.
to start watching more ICW. Got
Only
me on demand
£3.75.
I've
I've got
got
Dallas.
I've got
It's a
the
plug.
service, right.
375. 375.
Send some tickets to the Crossface podcast.
Your number 2, Fuzz, was Finn.
That's Finn
Yeah.
Balor, yeah.
So your number 1.
Oh, we packed out the number ones, are we?
Oh well, you've got your number 2, don't you?
Well, I'll put him as number 1 now.
Right, so,
Alright,
right,
okay,
so we're
so-
on to number ones. Right,
My number 1 was Finn, and 2 was Whippy. So that's me done.
right, cool.
So that's
Ross,
your
you want to
turn.
give
See
us
you
number
later,
one
Lewis.
then?
Well, my number
It's nice
one,
being here.
my number one's already kind of been mentioned, so I won't say too much. It's Kevin Owens, who Mario had at number 5, but
Yeah.
it's definitely my number 1.
That's what I was saying, you know, I find it unfair to give it a proper 5 to 1, whereas I've got everybody in the same level because
Mm-hmm.
everybody brings something else to the table for me, and if you made onto my list then it's because for what my opinion matters, I take you in high regard. So you've obviously got Kevin Owens for the stuff that we spoke about previous.
Yeah.
He is a major big talent, and I see him being multi-time WWF champion.
I can't wait for him to win the world title.
That's
I think
it.
he
Him
deserves
and
it right
Lesnar
now.
would
Him and
be
Lesnar.
a
Yeah.
bruise fest.
Because you
As a
have
match we need to
Fraser.
see. That should be a
and-
WrestleMania match, definitely.
Aye.
Well, my number one. Don't know.
Come on, you've had like
I
2
know, I
hours
know.
to think of something.
Who did this? Who's my other one's been?
I've got them. Coffee, Whippy, Neville, Baylor.
Oh well, there's only one more place then for Mr. Dean friggin' Ambrose.
Nah.
I was waiting for somebody to mention him. Jamie's not happy.
I'm just
Go by
leaving-
Jamie
I'm
just
leaving.
putting his face through the barbershop window that he was going to go down the same road as me. Mario, have you got anything to say about Johnny Moxley?
John Moxley. Apart from that CZW video
With the glass?
Aye, the glass
That
plate.
was
Like,
brutal, man.
we'll get
Aye.
onto this in a different time, but seriously, that, like, how
Well,
do you top a move like that? Like, you hit
didn't
someone
even get
through
the pin.
that should end it.
Didn't even get the pin.
I know.
But that's what I was saying to you about the years before about the match with Divers and Renfrew. It's like the close, like there's a line,
Aye.
and it's weird. Does it become less fun and more
Like, a
shock
DDT
factor?
on the chair with
Yeah.
thumbtacks should have done it,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Either hit it or don't.
Aye. But Dean Ambrose, since I seen him, was it in the lead up to WrestleMania when he had the kind of wee backstage skits with Mick Foley, I thought, I quite like a look at this guy. I'd seen him wrestling previously on for other promotions, and I was like, guy looks pretty good. I heard they'd signed with the NXT, and I thought, man, this guy's worth the watch. And then kind of forgot about him.
It just
Forgot him
looks
for a while.
so mental. Like,
Aye.
his eyes, his mannerisms, it's
Aye.
just...
See, I totally forgot about him for ages, and then they brought him in the Shield, and in the Shield he was the one that you love to hate. Well, Rollins and Reigns were the... Reigns was the
Kind of
muscle,
pretty boys.
Rollins was the kind of...
The high flat.
The high... The, not so much
Aye,
high
aye,
flyer, but
aye,
the-
high
aye, but
flyer.
he wasn't too
Risk
offensive to
taker.
anybody, aye. And then you had Dean Ambrose, who was the snivelling wee kind of... Oh God, I hate
Like,
you
see his
kinda
first
guy.
match, the TLC
Yeah.
6-man.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was just like this halfway through the match.
Yeah.
Just, like,
Aye.
tongue always out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy annoys the sugar out of me. And I was just like, right, this
Right.
guy just... But see, as I watched more,
Aye.
I was like,
But you
This
realise,
guy's-
you realise
this-
looking
he's
back
amazing.
on it, looking back on it now, you realise that the transition in his character has been apparent since the start of the Shield,
aye.
and now that he's got this go alone, he doesn't have the two guys to stop him from being a nutcase anymore. So,
As well, with some of the give that man a ladder and he will jump full fit.
aye. See the
Stand on the elbow.
See the hot dog stand and all that kind of
Aye.
stuff, man. I buckled. I thought that was brilliant.
Some of the
The
stuff.
police car as
The
well.
police car.
I'd give him a couple of pictures. The guy was a fan.
Do you know
So
the only match I didn't overly enjoy was the one with Luke Harper. When the two of them are fighting, they ended up in the car. Luke Harper's
Oh.
driving. They get back to the arena 2 matches later, and it's Ambrose that's driving. And I thought,
But
for as fun as it was, I was like, oh, it was a
Aye.
kind of groan moment. I'm not saying it was a bad match, but it
that's
was,
about
it was a pure groan moment for me. I was like, oh. But to me, just now, pound for pound, I don't think there's many folk better. His in-ring works spot on. Every time he hits that wee kind of duck under the middle rope clothesline, I think one of these days he's just going to cope. One of these days he's just going to fall straight out of the ring.
I don't matter how down fall out.
But see, even when he botches stuff, it doesn't look like he's botching in it, and he just kind of. But then you put that down to him being a nut job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because his body's on the line, he throws himself into the steps, he gets through tables, and do you know, he just knocks his pan. And that last match again at Money in the Bank,
bringing
what a
it
match
back.
it was. I mean,
I would say his selling on his leg
Yep.
could have been a little bit more,
Aye.
but other than that, that's only
the finish
downfall for
for
it.
me, I was alright. It was something that we probably haven't seen before, but the whole having his hands on the belt and then getting ripped out his hands on the ground, it was all about iffy. But work wise, jeez, oh man, the boy can go. He can go with the best of them, and I think it's probably only a matter of time before we see him fighting Roman Reigns. I think
Aye.
ultimately
I think
it's going
Reigns
to
is going to turn heel.
I think he will, because I think Ambrose will end up winning something. I don't know if he'll win the belt, because I think they've got other things in line for the belt. But I think at some point the friendship's going to get the windy, and I think Roman Reigns will be the one that turns. And I think Dean Ambrose, I know I'd said earlier that I think Bray Wyatt will make or break Roman Reigns, but ultimately it could be Ambrose that does it.
Aye.
He could cement him as a big man because he can show off his strength, because he'll be happy to get thrown a bit like an old sock. It's better than what I was going to say. Passed a bit like an old but Dean friggin' Ambrose for the PG era.
Alright. What's your number? Well, I'm guessing Dean Ambrose was your
Dean
number
Ambrose
2.
was
Yeah, so
number 2.
we're cemented on Dean Ambrose.
Aye. as I said, some of the stuff with the Seth Rollins things that he's been doing now, it's just been crazy. And as I said, he's as mad as a bag of cats.
I love how it's been, if not someone like Cena or Lesnar, your main events the last year have been Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, which shows that WWE are giving them a whole load of credit and responsibility to end some of their big shows.
Yeah. But that's the thing, he brings something new to the table as well, and as I said to you before, it's something that we've not necessarily seen since Stone Cold. It's that kind of
like
anti-hero. Aye.
Like
He's
you don't
totally,
know if he's bad.
Yep,
good.
he's totally
He can
against the
just play
system. He's playing a bad guy, but he's a kind of bad guy that you like to love. So I mean, he's playing that role where if you were new to it, you could think, oh, this guy, I don't like him, I don't like what he's doing, I don't like this, I don't like that. But then you kind of want him, and you're like, man, this guy's really good.
Aye.
This stuff's brilliant, and his in-ring work's brilliant as well. I love that finishing move.
The Dirty Deeds.
Don't come cheap.
That's it, I know, I heard that.
Exactly. Well, we wrap this up with honourable mentions very quickly. When you guys have got dozens, you've got the whole roster, including Eva Marie.
Yes.
But we'll just stick to one.
Right.
Can we just
Okay,
I'll wrap this up really quick?
Aye.
So I need to
Well,
go, but
I'll just
Ross.
quickly say Dolph Ziggler, just because
Dolph.
he's a great worker.
Great seller.
Yeah.
I'm going for. I was going to include one or two of them,
I
but
will kick you right out of that chair if you say that thing you're going to say.
no. But I was with the inclusion of Kaylee Ray. She was going to be on my top 5, but due to the fact of being in this group with Stevie as well, and you've got BT and Renfrew and Wolfie, NAK honourable mention. The thing is, they're a heel team, but they're so over in Glasgow and whatever. They're kind of turning into a favourable heel team.
I can't follow that because my honourable mention was BT Gunn, but now that you mentioned the whole of the NAK, I can see no wrong, and they're only getting bigger, stronger, and better with the inclusion.
Each part's different. Kaylee Ray, you've got a woman. Stevie, the Zero G.
Yeah.
Renfrew is the probably best talker right now in the
Plus
UK.
he can go.
Oh, he can. Aye. He's a hardcore. You know what?
Summer.
Wolfie is
Just
a guy
crazy.
at that size should not be doing moves that he does,
Plus
but he does them with so much grace.
Yeah. Plus BT Gunn's the best strike, the best
Chopper
slapper.
and
Best
stomper.
slap, the biggest slapper, eh? He's the best chopper.
Let him know that.
Best chopper this side of the lights. Aye.
Plus, to be fair as well, Chris Renfrew just tries to get you to hate him, but you just can't hate him because he's that good at the top.
Like his match against Hardcore Holly, I thought his nipple was getting chopped off.
Aye.
Like there were handprints like indented in him.
Aye.
Aye, because did you see his chest after that, man? It was...
Aye, he was. There was no way that he was selling that. He was genuinely trying out.
Your man Renfrew seems to be a gentleman outside of the ring. Though. I've always had
brilliant.
Never had anything bad to say to him, but anyway, I got a nice treat off him at the Fozzy gig in Glasgow. I was at the t-shirt store waiting for my mate coming out of the toilet, and I just got a hand on my shoulder, and he's like, "Alright, big fella." I says, "Alright." He says,
"Where's your pal Jamie?"
He says, pulled my beard and goes, "You inspire me to everything I want to be," and then chopped me.
At least he chopped you afterwards.
Chopped me in the chest, and I thought, "Thanks for that, mate." And he says, "Here's a present for you," and took a bite out his ticket and handed me the rest of it. I was like, "Aye, thanks for that." Aye, gentlemen.
Your honourable mention
was BT Gunn.
BT.
As I says, I love watching him in the ring, whether it's when he's in Just Us, whether it was old BT.
We did see a different side at PBW.
Or aye, that's what I'm saying, he was in Just Us, or if he's Booty, or whether he's this new kind of Leatherface kind of...
It's almost Corey Taylor mask.
Psycho thing going on. But just in ring, I think he's brilliant. See all the matches with him in Whiplash?
If you see Spaceballs, that just, like, every spot was just up, one up, one up, one up. It was phenomenal.
Because if you saw the post that ICW put
somebody I think chucked a beer on BT and I think
he went mental and battered them.
Aye.
But they're saying that they don't want them to fight, but NAK and Legion have like tried to like make it one mere match. So
Aye,
whatever
it
the
needs
next
to end. I think it's going to be big. Fear and Loathing. I think they're going to string it out.
aye.
Big idea. Oh, one.
Last one. Last honourable mention.
Well, I was going to say Jack Jester, but I just got this guy out of the blue, Norm Dar.
Good choice.
Nom Dar.
I
Good choice.
remembered him, and I thought some of the stuff, like as I've saw, he's done
His 5
TNA.
series against Joe Coffey.
Joe
Aye,
Coffey
it
was
something
brilliant.
else, something else.
Plus, he's no like your typical ICW one blood and that.
He's a wrestler.
He's like one of your old school like wrestlers. He'll put you in submission.
See,
moves.
that's the thing. That's why I like his style. He's
Aye,
unlike he's
he's-
unlike a lot of things that we've got now. He's very map based.
He's old school.
He wrestles.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? And it's good to see. It's good to see because sometimes I don't think you got enough in that. I think you got a lot of guys that are wanting to knock each other's pans in.
Tables, chairs.
Yeah.
Tables,
Whereas he
the
just wants
highest
to wrestle.
spot.
I mean, I was enjoying his match with Kenny Williams. I like Kenny.
Okay, the one
Oh,
Red Lightning came out and decided
Flawless
that,
Victory.
Nah, we'd come out
it like
and
ruined it.
No,
Aye.
you need to watch the. What one was it? It was
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs
He uses-
in March. He uses a hoverboard and a lightsaber.
Aye,
Brilliant,
that's right.
brilliant match.
Well, thanks for joining us again this week, guys.
It's time for us
To tap it, aye, we've done us line it. So we'll see you all next time for another episode of Crossface Podcast.
Connecting the campsite communities.
This